Brandon.
Tom.
It's draft week, so happy draft week. Happy draft week. I have a little bit of news that I wanted to tell you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as you know, like there's this big announcement that's happening on Thursday that I've been planning for a while, but as you know, I spoke to the NFL last week. And
moving and shaking, big dog move.
No, it's really, really exciting stuff. But I know that it's always been a dream of yours to get drafted. So
yes, that ship has sailed though.
No, you would think, right? Because you're too old, right? Like you think, but I pulled some strings, and congratulations, buddy, you're getting drafted
on Thursday.
No, it's tomorrow. You're going into the military.
Good morning, Vietnam!
We here.
We steer.
You in the right direction. Welcome to a Monday edition of Draft Week GPS. Tom Grossi, Brandon Perna. I did the intro wrong, but it's fine. We're here.
Hey, it was good. I told the people I would do Good Morning Vietnam.
You did.
And I did, which was an idea I had, Tom, because for whatever reason, that phrase just pops in my head sometimes.
That's fair.
Both from the actual movie with Robin Williams and Michael Scott doing it in The Office. And I just said, oh, Vietnam, got to do it. Then I'm like, today, this show just in general is a lot like Vietnam, as it's going to go on way too long. And about halfway through, everybody realizes there's no point to it. So it's really, I'm going to open the show that way every week until we get 1 million live concurrent viewers.
Oh.
We are the Vietnam of sports talk. That's what I want people to remember.
I don't think that's what we talked about for like an overarching business.
For branding? No. I think that's what we.
I thought we were going to stray away from the Vietnam War. I thought that was one of the wars we were going to not go near.
It's not. It hasn't been controversial for a while. Like people have kind of forgotten about it. It's time to stir back up the controversy. War. Oh. What is it good for?
Absolutely. What was it? What was it good for? What was that? What?
Seinfeld.
Got it.
That was the original title of War and Peace.
Anyway. That sounds phenomenal. That sounds like an amazing day. What DBZ you watching? You watching the Cell Saga? Do it. Oh, that's what we'll get you involved in next, Perna. First will be Pokemon, and then it'll be DBZ, and you'll have to dress and dye your hair like you're going Super Saiyan. I like these ideas.
No, I'm not doing some second-rate Pokemon show, some knockoff.
No, you're getting punished for that for clickbait. So
here's the thing: clickbait. Do I need? Are we saving the punishments for after this week since it's like draft stuff, or should I have the Brady review ready to go?
I'd have the Brady review ready to go.
Okay,
I'd have the Brady review because no one is going to plan anything for that show until we're like 10 minutes from going live. Right. So just you know what? Have it, and worst case scenario, use it next week, and you don't have to do any work.
Oh, so we get inflated views on
just
Twitter.
Just original. Just OG. Just the OG. Just the OG. Appreciate you, Luke.
Don't forget to watch this show on Twitter now.
You had 18 billion views, right? Last time.
100. We got 47 viewers in there.
No, It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
How did I roast you? What did I say, Black Toad? What did I say?
That's big. But folks, it is officially draft week in the NFL. Thank God. It seems like it has taken forever. It really has been. It's been a long off season. And I was talking about this. I was talking to Papa Grossi, if you will, because if you see yesterday, one of the big stories, of course, is that the Jets and Packers have re-entered trade talks. And
we gonna do this fucking trade or what? Huh?
No.
Dang.
One of my cold opens, because I recorded 3 draft videos yesterday, because I did a 7-round mock draft for the Packers.
Good God,
what'd you say?
I said you're insane.
Yeah, that's fine. But so I recorded it, and I didn't pay for PFF because I didn't. And my cold open was, yeah, I didn't pay for PFF because I'm just like the Jets and don't want to pay. Like that's what it was, because that's where we're at. But that title came out, like Ian Rappaport tweeted that out, and I tweeted that and went, that's nice. Like, I am so beyond the point. Like, this could have been such an epic, like, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers got traded.
I know.
Biggest offseason ever. I could put out all these videos. What do I think the Jets are going to do? The Packers as they rebuild. Bakhtiari, he said all these things. But it has taken months, and it has grinded me down. It is sand in the gears, as Kieran Culkin said last night on Succession. I'm done. I'm done. I don't care anymore. Give us a couple seconds, be on our way. Retire. I don't care. I don't want to even think about it anymore.
Yeah, it really, what's kind of poetic about it, Tom, is that this really has turned into Brett Favre 2.0. Where you just don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to happen, and it's taking forever.
Listen,
they botched the big storyline. 100%. You're absolutely correct about that. Also, like the NFL, I don't know, was it like 3 years ago? They moved the draft back a week, right? It used to happen like the second to last week.
It used to be a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and I don't like that either. It is just a little too long waiting in between that, because they wanted to stretch out their off season just a little more. Yes. Also, we've got XFL playoffs this weekend. That's a bad decision to put that on draft weekend as well.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's just there's some things that could be fixed in football, is what we're saying. But yeah, this Rodgers stuff it should be a huge story, and nobody's going to care when it actually happens. That's what you did, NFL. You made us not care about what should have been one of the biggest stories.
I'm hoping it's just draft night, because then it'll get that, like, at least that moment in the sun, and it's like, okay, now we can move on and be
I guess so.
It's done.
Aaron Rodgers returning to the Packers last season was a bigger story than what this is going to be.
You're 100% right. Yep. Justin! Boop! Pay for the kitty. Achilles tendon is killing me, but by God, I'm running through. Motivation draft week. Why is there a rumor of Eagles trading for Derrick Henry? Like, seriously, why draft a running back in the draft? Hope you guys are well. Listen, Honey Dijon Mustard Robinson, I think he's going to go in the top 10. I think that he is a top 3 prospect right now. The thing is, the NFL doesn't really value running backs. Now, I will say the Derrick Henry to Eagles rumor, that's what we're going to talk about today, because there's a bunch of rumors that are circulating around. But yeah, I don't know if he's going to be there by the time the Eagles pick at 10. Hot take.
Derrick Henry?
No.
Derrick Henry
Robinson
will be a top 10 pick in this draft. Heard it first here on That's Good GPS.
I don't.
Oh, wow. Is that a pancreas?
Nailed it. Appreciate you, Justin. Appreciate you. I do want to talk about the Aaron Rodgers thing, though. Happy almost birthday. Because, what a great profile picture, too. It's Pokemon.
Out of here.
Do you see that, Brandon? It's Pokemon. Brandon, it's Pokemon. It's your favorite.
Don't care.
Okay. I didn't even bring this up, but this is where we are in the offseason, because talking to Packers fans, we're exhausted. This whole process has been exhausting. Aaron Rodgers, we haven't heard anything except him like vying for, Robert Kennedy Jr. to run for president on Twitter. Like that's the only thing that he's been tweeting about. And we're just kind of waiting. Yeah, it's a true story.
Rodgers tweeting about Kennedy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that.
There are people who legitimately go into Aaron Rodgers likes, screenshot them, put them out, and they circulate around Packers Twitter. And that becomes a story for the day. I'm tired, Brandon. I'm just so tired.
Sure.
But Dave Bakhtiari, our all-pro left tackle, who was great last year, went on a podcast and basically was going through scenarios about Aaron Rodgers and all this great stuff and said the Packers are rebuilding. If you were a gambling man, like a lot of people think that they're going to be bad, right? Because there's a lot of unknowns. And this created a little mini firestorm. And it was like, wow, why is Dave Bakhtiari bashing the team, saying they're in rebuild mode? And I'm just like, oh my good God. Like, because it's true. Like the Packers are rebuilding right now. We don't know what it's going to look like. And so, of course, he goes on another podcast and he has to clarify his statements. And this was an article on NFL.com. It either came out last night or today, and basically clarified and said, we're moving on from a Hall of Fame quarterback. Literally talked to Jordan Love about this. The Packers rebuilt from Favre to Rodgers. What are we going to say? It's not a rebuild. It is what it is, and that's totally fine. I'm not going to say we're going to be bad. I'm not going to say we're going to be good. I don't know, and that's the beauty. No one really knows how good we are. So, again, this becomes a story for no reason because this offseason is way too long, way too long. And we have stories of a player saying, yeah, we're rebuilding right now because we don't know what we have. And everyone's like, oh my God, that's the worst.
David Bakhtiari is being honest in that he doesn't know what Jordan Love's going to do at quarterback because he hasn't really played the position a lot in the NFL.
Correct.
And it's the most important position in maybe all sports.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
you know what it's exhausting, but it's only exhausting for the diehard fans because I think your average NFL fan, they just detach from the time between free agency and the draft. The rest of us football nerds are every day, what's the news? Every week is something happening and it goes on and on. But normal people are just like, oh yeah, I'll see what happens on the draft day.
Yeah.
I wish I could go back to living that mental lifestyle.
Like my neighbors will while I'm walking the dogs will be like, did he get traded yet? I'm like, nope. Like they're again detached because they're like, when we hear the news, we'll be like, oh, cool, that's the news, and that's it. So I was just like, nope, I'm checking every moment of my life. So it's great. It's wonderful. But yeah, it's this is where we are. But like this is what the NFL news cycle is, right? It dries up tremendously. Then like around draft week, all these stories came out. So like the CJ Stroud, we talked about this last week, like he was the target of all this negative press talking about the tests that he's taking and not doing well on and all this great stuff. Will Levis's stock is now rising. It was Jalen Carter before, and which it was all about him.
Stroud's credit score.
Terrible. It's just terrible.
His car is supposed to have premium, and he's been putting straight up unleaded in it.
No, that's not okay. That's not okay.
What's that NIL money? He can do whatever he wants.
That's fair.
We do have more rumors today, though.
We have a lot of rumors.
Today, it was like another floodgate was opened of,
yes.
Hey, guys, draft is this week. Start making some shit up now.
Can I ask a question, Brandon? Because I don't know.
Sure.
I heard a rumor, and I'm not in that world. I haven't dived into that. Do the Battlehawks not make it into the XFL playoffs?
No, it is.
Weren't they like a really good record?
Well, they along with the Seattle Dragons both were 7-3, and one big faux pas the XFL has made, which I'm going to rant about in my recap today, is they did not go with just best overall record gets into the postseason. So there's two divisions, a North and a South. And just like the NFL, it's the top two teams in each division. Unfortunately, the XFL has this issue where the North, lot better division. There's only one legit team in the South, and that's the Houston Roughnecks. All the other teams struggling. All right, so you got the Defenders with the best overall record. Then you have the Dragons and the Battlehawks. I think the Dragons are a better team than the Battlehawks, but two very good teams playing fun football, more complete teams. Both, offense and defense is good. AJ McCarron just goes off this weekend, throws 6 touchdown passes. That's an XFL record. They scored 53 points. There was not a 53-point game this season. I don't even think a team scored 40. I'd have to double check that. Crazy game. And they needed a bunch of points in that game to win the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
But the Dragons defense just shut down the Vipers. And since they didn't give up too many points, they keep the spot above the Battlehawks. So this weekend, instead of getting what would have been just an incredible game, which would have been Battlehawks and Dragons, we're getting Roughnecks and Renegades again, which they closed out the season. Roughnecks dominated them, beat them twice this year, and now we get another dish of that. So basically, the XFL, it should have been best record, because what they're taking away from people is the best possible game. And the Battlehawks, most popular team in the league, and they would have it would have been the best game.
Could have been a good platform.
The best product on the field is it's a gaffe for the XFL. And they should have adjusted this like a couple weeks ago. They should have just been like, you know what? No, we're going to make sure we have the best game people can watch. And they didn't make a change. This is the way it is.
So basically, St. Patrick needs to come into the XFL and get rid of the snakes, because not only did the Vipers ruin that, but the stupid snakes also hurt Kurt Benkert. So just get him out of the league.
Yep. Bad football team, great at wreaking havoc.
Get him out.
Yeah. Okay. For 8 teams, I totally agree. They don't even need the divisions. It's kind of silly.
There's only 8 teams. It's just like go with standings and have a nice day.
Yeah. Like that's how it should have been. But now we get Dragons versus Defenders, which will be a very good game.
Sure.
And because the Defenders are a great team, but if the Roughnecks lose and the Renegades go to the championship, that team might get smoked in the championship. Smoked.
I don't think they're going to take one in the first round. They could take a quarterback later. And it's also funny too, because you go on like PFF and you do like the mock draft simulator, and they're saying the Patriots need a quarterback too. Because there was that rumor also that Belichick was like has soured on Mac Jones. It's just like I'm kind of done. So there you go.
Buy McCorkle.
I don't know. Speaking of things, real quick, I want to do a quick shout out. It's not XFL, but USFL news, because former Green Bay Packers 3rd round pick and friend of the show Jay Sternberger lit it up this past weekend. So shout out to you, Jay Sternberger. I hit him up on the IG, and congrats. And we want nothing but the best for Jay Sternberger. So
Sterny.
That's it. I hope he does well. Listen, we like when our people do well. But anyway, let's get into NFL draft rumors. It's your favorite thing, Brandon. Can you imagine if we actually had like any pull in the NFL media landscape? Oh my God, we would spread so many rumors. You would like be at the combine and you're just like, heard Mac Jones has 9 toes. Like just like start spreading like just really, really vagrantly false rumors.
I heard Mac Jones has syphilis. Who's gonna
Someone just turns and is like, how do you know that?
My source? His doctor. And that guy gets sued for breaking is it HIPAA violations? I don't even freaking know. Ultimately, it would come back to bite me in the ass, but the chaos we would have for a while,
Dude, you get credentialed by the NFL, and then you just turn around. There you go. And then you just turn around, and you lose that credential immediately.
Yeah,
nailed it. Vietnam. Tom Grossi, Brandon Perna. My God, can you imagine us doing play-by-play for a war?
We might not be far off from that, Tom.
Listen, I've said this. If we're all going down, like we get involved in like a big match, I'm live streaming 100%. Comets coming to like kill us all. I'm live streaming that bad boy. Why not? I'm doing play-by-play as soon as it hits the atmosphere. Because why not? Who cares at that point, you know?
What do we got to lose? You gonna be criticized for capitalizing on the war when we're all dead? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm not a Pokemon ever.
Do you know what?
Whoa.
Dallas would be wild enough to trade up for Bijan. I like that. That would be something. They would be crazy enough.
What if Dallas trades up for Anthony Richardson? Ooh! What would happen to Scooter if the Cowboys traded up for a Florida QB?
Dude, you would hear like that would be like he just got engaged. Shout out and congratulations to Scoots. He would immediately like unpin that tweet and pin that one. Like immediately. It would last 5 days and it'd just be like, no. Done.
Nope.
It's true. They should get a consolation prize. All right, let's get into some rumors, buddy. Let's do it. Yeah.
First, big.
That one? Do you want to do this one?
Sure, fine.
Yeah.
Segue me into there, Timothy.
There you go. Timothy got it.
Wasn't going to be my first, but this is one. The Titans, according to people, I think Peter Schrager's dropped this today. Schrager. Did I say Schrager's? Schrag. Peter Schrager, one of those guys.
Hank Schrader. DEA.
Yeah. He's gonna get Gustavo one way or another. Ryan Tannehill is believed to be available heading into the draft.
And no one cheered. No, it was
like, yeah, that's the guy I need.
The Titans are standing on a mountain. They're just like, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Tannehill is available. Crickets. Crickets.
Actually, I'd like to see Tannehill go back to Miami and back up Tua. I think you would do actually. That'd be a solid backup in that offense with Mike McDaniel. Anyway, here's the thing. So if Ryan Tannehill is actually available for trade, nobody is assuming that's because the Titans are ready to roll forward with Malik Willis, right? The thought would be, oh, they're going to trade Tannehill and they're going to move up and draft a quarterback. So that puts them in play to try and draft their next quarterback. I think Ryan Tannehill getting traded could be likely. I don't know if the Titans have the balls to get up where they need to get a quarterback, though.
To who?
No, I mean, hey.
To who? Who is taking on a 1-year, incredibly expensive Ryan Tannehill deal? Who?
Let me think, Tom. The San Francisco 49ers.
No, the San Francisco. Honestly,
Trey Lance to the Titans for Tannehill and a draft pick. Boom.
Fine.
The Texans might take him, honestly. Actually, any dumb trade rumor where you go, there's no way anybody's trading for that player, just pencil in the Texans. Oh, damn. This is what I wanted to do here, Tom. Oh, my God, yes. And this is going to set this up nicely. This is going to...
Are you getting your tweet? I was just about to show your tweet that I loved this morning.
Oh, my God, yes.
Oh, my God, that mind meld is there. First with Johnny Barks and now with Brandon Perna, of course.
Hold on.
Yeah, so the Texans tweeted something out. It was this morning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Texans tweeted something out, and Brandon had a fantastic commentary on this.
Here we go. Because, and everybody's roasting them. It's
yeah.
Texans post this. Failure is not an option. It's a necessity. Hate this font, by the way. Every misstep is a lesson learned. Every setback a chance to grow stronger, embrace the struggle, and become unstoppable.
Who's the player in the background? Are they still on the team? Like, who are they highlighting?
Oh, that's a good question.
They're getting roasted. The quotes are already more than the likes there. Yes. It literally is. It's somebody at like 12 a.m. just like, I'm just having a really tough time now, but God gives us our hardest battles to the hardest people.
Yeah, somebody said this is like strong divorced dad energy.
It honestly, though, it's accurate because that's just kind of embarrassing. And it's not even the social media person's fault because that they were asked to tweet this. And now
to me, I would have been like, oh, that's Jack Easterby, but he's gone. They got D'Amico Ryans there. Should be a whole new vibe, a whole new energy. Texans are still the Texans, and I believe they will always be the Texans as long as Cal McNair is running that franchise. But yeah, that shit was hilarious.
It's really bad. It's really cringy. But so speaking of the Texans, because I think this is where you're going with this, is there, again, a lot of rumors. And they even came out and said, like, we are not afraid to not take a QB at 2. And
we're not afraid to mess this up, guys.
I kind of really don't want them to.
Well, of course, it makes it more interesting.
It makes it so interesting if they don't pick one. If they just pick like Tyree Wills, like if they just go and get an edge rusher or just like, hey, we're going to do that. I want all the quarterbacks to get drafted. And then you're sitting there at 12 going, so Hendon Hooker, maybe? Like, what do we rock with? Go get Trey Lance. Go do something, because then at least the Texans will be mildly interesting, because I liked Pierce a lot. Now there's rumors that they're going to go get Bijan Robinson. I'm like, that doesn't really make sense. Like, Pierce had a really nice rookie year. Like, why would you go get... I understand, like, Robinson's supposed to be really good, but that seems like the one need you don't have.
Here's my question for you, Tom.
Oh my God, this was so dumb. It was dumb.
We could get into that a little more. We'll go back to that. Remind us to go back to gambling. Damn, so many super chats. This is what I was going to ask. So Trey Lance, all right? Yeah. He's this big unknown. Obviously, the 49ers thought very highly of him. Move up to number 3 to draft Trey Lance. And I don't completely knock the Texans if D'Amico Ryans is like, look, I know Trey Lance, and I think outside of whoever their number 1 guy is, okay, say that is Bryce Young.
Sure.
If Ryan's is like, I think Trey Lance is as good as any of our number 2 graded quarterbacks in this draft, and we can acquire him for a much cheaper price, and then take top 2 best players available, or trade and get more picks. Like, it's not the craziest approach. Sure. But your opinion, Trey Lance has not played a lot, right? He has been absorbing, learning like Jordan Love, and there is value to that in the NFL. But do you think Trey Lance is more ready right now than the top 2 quarterbacks heading into this draft who have just come off playing football in full college seasons? Like, would you bet on the guy who's been doing it, has been playing, versus the guy who's been marinating but not playing?
And by the way, your head coach is also D'Amico Ryans. So, like, there's already that relationship between Trey Lance. So, like, you know what I mean? So there's that. I'm going to go a step further. I am, right now, Brandon, I am going to advocate for the Texans not to select a QB in the draft. They can trade for one. That's fine. But even if they don't, here's why. It very much seems like Bryce Young was their guy. If they were picking at number 1, if Lovie Smith didn't win that last game, I think they're going with Bryce Young. We're not even having this conversation, right? That's 1. 2, the Texans are a bad football team. Do they have some good players? Yeah, their draft last year was a really, really solid draft, but they're a bad football team. They're rebuilding. Even if they got CJ Stroud, are they going to make a playoff run this year? I think it's doubtful. I think it's gonna be tough. They are in a weak
They've got a lot
division.
to prove. Yeah, there's like
it's a weak division, and like they were competitive. Hey, they took the Chiefs into overtime. Like this is not a crap on the Texans session. I don't want that to be it at all. My point is that
I'll crap on them.
Yeah, my point is that if your QB is not there, then just build the rest of your team that you're gonna have to do anyway. You're likely not gonna be great this season, and you draft one next year. You know what I mean? If you're get that draft capital if you can, trade out of the number 2 spot, see if you can get picks for next draft, like in the top 5, top 10, and rock and roll with that, and just build your roster. So when you can get, whether it's via a trade or whether it's draft, your franchise guy or you think is your franchise guy, then you could plug him in and you have a team around him that can actually compete and go to the playoffs.
Yeah, what it feels like the Texans might be betting on the fact that there's a very good chance they are the second worst team in the NFL next season, trailing quite possibly just the Arizona Cardinals. And if the Arizona Cardinals have the number 1 draft pick, are they taking Caleb Williams with Kyler Murray under contract? I think the Texans don't think they'll do that. I think that would be a huge mistake because that's an organization that has moved on from coaches and quarterbacks with relative ease. I know it's a new general manager there now.
Sure.
And they actually have done, I think they're showing Kyler Murray a little bit of love. They went to OU with him.
Statue thing.
Building a little rapport. I like what the Cardinals are doing there. But, I think you take a QB now, and if it doesn't work, you take a QB in the next one. But that's my point, is that you get a QB now. Like, let's say it's CJ Stroud, and it's not a guy that you really want, not a guy that you think you can really win with. You might win a couple more games, but then you just drafted a QB at 2, and you still have some pretty big holes in your roster. Like, look at the Jets, right? Let's talk about the Jets for a hot second. The Jets have built up their roster. They had a really nice draft last year. They don't have the quarterback. They're a quarterback away, in my opinion, from not only being a playoff team, but they're going to be able to contend because their defense is so good. They should have a good offense. And that's why they are going to trade for Aaron Rodgers, or at least attempting to trade for Aaron Rodgers, because they think that's going to put them over the top. The Texans can be that team also, or they could go for a Trey Lance, trade like a second or a third. We're not trading Jordan Love. Right, trade a second or a third, get a Trey Lance, and see if that works for a year. And if it doesn't, then oh well, then you don't have to waste the 2 first-round picks. That makes sense. If they roll with Davis Mills, I think you run into the other problem of winning too many games, because it would be his 3rd season. Yeah. And I think Davis Mills with actual direction. Let's just say D'Amico Ryans is as good as advertised, and the Texans are a better team because of him. I think you're going to win a few too many games with Davis Mills, because we've seen him play well. We've seen him play not great, but he's never been so horrible. You're this guy is the worst quarterback in the league. 1 or 2 games where he's been that bad, but I understand what you're saying. I'd say the majority of games that he has started and played in, he looks at least passable, serviceable. You're this guy could be, your 20th best quarterback. He could be a very good backup. Point is, he's not Nathan Petermaning himself. Sure. You know what I mean? Where it's this is our tank dude. He's oh shit, we accidentally got 5 wins with Davis Mills. But he was your tank dude that last game. We talk about Lovie Smith winning it, but it was Davis Mills' Hail Mary that did it. All right, but I think this leads to the next thing, okay? The next draft rumor. Really could use graphics here. Draft rumor. Texans not taking a QB and moving out of spot 2, which is probably why Will Levis has moved up to the betting favorite to be the 2nd quarterback drafted. Am I on drugs? Yes. Why? Nobody knows. Why? And again, is this just we talk about smoke screens, right? Josh McDaniels, that's why. Everything that I have seen from Will Levis that has changed, right? From the combine to now, is him being a weird ass dude.
He like drinks mayo with his coffee. He eats bananas with the peel on, and he throws a football and hits the crossbar from his knees.
50 yards from his knees. Just
that's
like
all I've
I think
seen
DeMarcus
from Will
Russell did
Levis.
some shit like that.
And someone has seen that and it's like, that's our guy. We're going to trade up to go get him.
Yeah.
What?
I think you're correct in that this is hogwash. Like, I don't buy this rumor that Levis is number 2. But I think there is a team that people believe have Will Levis as their second best quarterback in this draft behind Bryce Young, and that they would move up to get him.
I don't think he'd last that long.
Some people say it's the Colts. Think it's the Colts have him that high. I think it's probably the Raiders. But who knows?
Yeah.
But and I don't think anybody's saying that the Texans are going to take Will Levis at 2. I don't think that's part of this rumor mill.
I've heard that. I don't think it's going to happen, but I've heard that. But again, this is the time that the past 2 weeks have just been like, throw a bunch of crap and like, let's just see what sticks. I mean, listen, the Browns picking Baker Mayfield number 1 overall, like that was a shock. Like that wasn't expected. It could have gone a couple different ways, but I'd say that was the last time that the number 1 overall pick was in any question, because you knew it was going to be right. Like Trevor Lawrence is going to be there. Joe Burrow is going to be the number 1. There really wasn't a lot of the Browns going after Baker Mayfield. And this one, even still, they're going to go with Bryce Young with the Panthers. But the second pick is more exciting for me because
that's what we're assuming. Because if the Panthers do go Stroud, then I think the Texans take Bryce Young. Like I think it's very easy, right?
Correct.
We're assuming right now that it is going to be Bryce Young number 1.
Yep.
That's not even confirmed yet. Anyway,
but
so those are 2 big ones.
It's kind of
I saw somebody say Dalvin Cook could be traded in the draft. I don't think anybody's going to give capital up for Dalvin Cook right now. But I know the Broncos, if he's released, are interested in Dalvin Cook. One, they need running back help. It'll depend on what happens in the draft, but also George Payton, very familiar with Dalvin Cook, coming over from Minnesota.
If the Vikings get rid of Dalvin Cook, the Lions are going to win this division. Like, they're likely going to win it because I think they're probably the team with the most potential. We'll see how the Packers do. The Bears will be better, but the Vikings, they may find themselves a little far down because they don't have Thielen anymore, which it was time. It was time to move on from Thielen. But losing Dalvin Cook.
I mean, last year was a down year for Cook, and he still had 1,100 yards and 8 rushing touchdowns. So
Dalvin Cook is a very good running back.
Yeah.
He's a very
do you buy that they're trying to just move on, release him? Because speaking of rebuilds, it feels like the Vikings are in rebuild mode while they're in their last year with Kirk Cousins.
Correct. Yes. So they're a really interesting team because last year I said that was like my too early predictions, saying that they're going to be a playoff team. They're going to be a good team. Just get them for next year. But the thing about the Vikings is everybody watched the games that they went through. And we're like, oh, they're gonna lose like round 1. Like there's a really good chance that they're gonna lose against the Giants in the wild card. They're gonna get destroyed in the divisional because they're just skating by. And listen, it didn't matter because they were winning football games. They won the division, and like kudos to them. They did that, and they had some insane games against the Bills, that comeback against the Colts. They showed the grit. But you looked at that team, you're like, this is not a Super Bowl team. And now, as you said, in Kirk Cousins last year, it doesn't look like they're going all in. It looks like instead they're looking to sell. Zadarius Smith doesn't want to come back. Dalvin Cook might be gone. Adam Thielen's already gone. And that defense already needs help. So it's just really fascinating to watch because you might have 3 teams like in full-blown rebuild mode in the NFC North. And then there's the Lions who are still like rebuilding, but they're just a little bit more ahead of everybody else. And that division might be really bad. Like we might be one of the worst divisions in football. And I know that the South exists. Like,
yeah, no, that's it. That's a hot take, but it's not too far from the truth. Kirk Cousins is like, Minnesota, could you show me the same sort of commitment that I show towards murdering people in my basement for fun? Yeah, because in the thought here with cutting Dalvin Cook is they'll save $10.5 million in cap space. The problem is the running back free agent market. Let's see here. Hold on. NFL free agents. Is Leonard Fournette still a free agent?
It's not good. I don't know Fournette. I don't think he did.
Let's see here.
I don't think.
Yeah, you got. Let's see. Where's Lenny? You got Ezekiel Elliott, Kareem Hunt, Leonard Fournette. So like, I think Dalvin Cook is better than all three of those. But Minnesota, like, I don't know what they're getting for Cook. It's probably a late round pick, right?
I haven't forgotten about Madison. Madison's
good.
He's a good running back. He's not Dalvin Cook. And again, it's just what Perna and I are talking about right now. It's you have like 1 year left of your QB's. I don't know why I did this. I think I was going to say franchise QB contract. They're not going all in, and it looks like they're instead going like, yeah, we're rebuilding. Like we have a new regime here. We're just going to kind of go like they may be one of the worst teams. Like they might be a top 10 worst team.
Also, I mean, Melvin Gordon still a free agent for some reason.
Can't imagine why. They want a Super Bowl.
If a team's really trying to tank, sign my man Fumbly McGordon.
Fumbly McGordon. Is that his surname? Fumbly
McGordon, Duke of Fumbletown. Loose ball on the ground, keepers. Butter is our favorite thing to smear all over our hands before working.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But to that point, speaking of the NFC North, let's talk about gambling because I have lots of thoughts about this. So this is on Friday, right?
Yeah, it happened during the show. We talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, we like didn't get into it because we didn't know like the context and backstory.
Right.
So you had, and also coaches, like people from the coaching staff of the Lions got released too because they were involved with the gambling. So Jameson Williams, the biggest name on there. He is suspended for the first 6 games of the season.
Yeah, I saw somebody had to post in Reddit. Jameson Williams has as many touchdown receptions as he does suspensions.
Yes. I think it's just receptions. It's not touchdown receptions. It's just receptions.
Did he only have 1 catch last year?
He had the 1 catch, which was his first catch was a touchdown.
Yeah.
I don't think
he didn't have any catches after that.
No, I think he had catches, but I think you're saying, oh no, yeah, 1 reception.
That was it? Wow.
Well, he had a big one against the Packers. He was targeted 9 times, and then that got called back from a penalty. So,
one.
It literally says right now: targets 9, 1 reception, 49 yards, 1 tutty.
Damn, yep. I thought that was whoa. He had to have. I swear to God, he had catches after.
I thought he had more. It was just 1. It was against the Vikings. Yeah, the one against the Packers was called back. It was a touchdown, but it was called back.
He had a rushing touchdown. Interesting.
It was all So anyway,
catches were penalties. Oh my God, that's insane. Yep. Okay,
he got a lesser charge because it wasn't the NFL, but the reason he got suspended was because he was betting on non-NFL games in the team facility. So I made a video about this because I thought this was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Because here in the team facility, you can't hit bet. But if you step outside, you can do the exact same thing. I don't understand why. Like that seems just like
such an arbitrary bullshit. Let's make a statement move from the NFL. And I feel like they disproportionately just selected the Lions to make an example of because they knew the blowback wouldn't be harsh enough where they could get away with it. Because I guarantee you, if they really wanted to find out that this happened in more places than just that, I would be willing to bet on that.
Which it does. Which it does.
So he did a totally legal thing by the NFL rules, but did it in a place that is not legal by NFL rules. Just like drinking on the team plane isn't allowed, but we know happens all the freaking time.
All the freaking time.
And then Taylor Heineke got dinged for it when they were trying to do the Kirk Cousins thing, right?
They shouldn't. Yes.
No, it's not illegal to do on the airplane in the NFL. Make fun of Russell Wilson, which Justin Tucker got away with. That man should be in jail singing opera. Like that sweet angel voice he is. But anyway, it is stupid. Like, you're costing a man 6 games for that. I get like, okay, maybe 2, right? You want to like, hey, don't even place bets at it's 6 games. That's a big middle finger to the Lions. Oh, you guys thought you were close? NFL is against the Lions. That's all I know.
No.
We're going to find out they forced Calvin Ridley and Barry Sanders to retire early soon enough.
No. The NFL is finally, this is not egregious. This is justice, Brandon, because of the collusion between the Vikings and Lions last year that the Vikings traded all the way to the back of the end of the first round and just gifted the Lions a top 15 spot so they could get Jameson Williams, okay? So this is karma, and karma slaps real hard. So,
well,
just say.
Yeah, if somebody wants to hack into Patrick Mahomes' phone and have him play sports bets on the NFL at the Chiefs facility, and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid and whoever the backup quarterback is right now, feel free to do so.
Can I want to ask you, it's kind of a joke, but it's a legitimate question. If Patrick Mahomes was caught doing the exact same thing that Jameson Williams did, do you think he gets 6 games?
No.
I don't think he does either.
No.
I don't think he does either.
Guarantee he doesn't.
Yep. I don't think he does. I think if you took it like some of the most popular guys in the sport,
I think he would be elected president of the United States somehow.
He'd be the new commissioner.
Yeah.
I think there's no shot. There's no shot.
No. NFL tried to drop the hammer on old Tom Brady. 1, it backfired. 2, Brady wouldn't give him his phone. But now because the sports betting companies have access to the phones, right? There's a verification on where you do the bets. That's where the NFL gets the information.
It's your location too, because it makes sure you're in the state where you could do it. Yeah.
But it is it's a very big brothery that they know where you're placing your sports bets. I get that they need to know if a player or a coach is betting on NFL games. I get that. I don't think that should be allowed. Actually, I do think players should be able to bet on games that they're not part of. But I get why the general consensus would be like, no, we can't have that. He could go over, walk across the street, go to McDonald's, place a sports bet there on a college game, and it's okay.
I don't think so.
It's so stupid.
Yeah. No,
anyway.
I don't think we're trading up. But yeah, it's just an arbitrary thing. I get it. I get NFL games. I 100% understand. I get it, because even if you're not on the team, you could have friends on other teams and connections and things like that.
Well, they do. They place bets on the games through friends. We already know that.
And cousins and all that great. Yes, they do. And it 100% happens, right? They're just I'm going to go off today because I'm part of the game plan. It 100% happens.
Oh, yeah.
And the NFL can't stop all of that because there's no way. But it's just dumb. It's just dumb when you start going after other sports, especially it looks really hypocritical when you're shoving draft sponsorships down viewers' throats. It's not a good look. And of course, the NFL is going to get a ton of blowback for this.
What the NFL should do is, because when players get suspended like that, they lose their money, their game checks for those weeks, right? They should let Jameson Williams have his game checks during the suspension, but he has to spend all of his game check money on sports betting. That's a win-win for everyone. Jameson can double, triple, quadruple his money. He can parlay it into a big payday.
It sounds like you're doing an ad read.
The sportsbook's making money. They're getting free promo as we track Jameson Williams' bets while he has to do it with his game checks. Which, first-round draft pick, they're going to be big. They're going to be dropping some big bets.
I'm not going to lie. You know, it would be an amazing move by one of these sports books, having a Super Bowl commercial for your sports book with Jameson Williams and Calvin Ridley promoting it. That would, dude, if you want to talk about free publicity, like it would win. Like that would just win this year. It's just like, hi, I'm Calvin Ridley. And when I do gambling,
I do it with Kevin Hart and DraftKings.
Now that would be amazing.
Is there I don't think active NFL players can be spokesmen for any of the sports.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Trey Lance could be. He could go to Minnesota. That's a rumor that I saw.
That's another rumor. Vikings looking to trade for Trey Lance or looking to trade up to draft a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, let's say the Vikings, it's Levis or Anthony Richardson. Both of those guys would make a ton of sense going to Minnesota because Kirk Cousins is there. Like, it's that pressure of not having to start right away for guys who need to marinate. Another rumor popping up today, also per Peter Schrager, 2 running backs expected to go in the first round. Not just Bijan Robinson, but also Jahmyr Gibbs, son of Joe Gibbs, I believe.
I don't know. It kind of just was pulled out of nothing, and I saw exactly what you're talking about, but
also said some teams have Gibbs rated ahead of Bijan.
Yeah, again, this is where it all like comes out, and it's like, all right, just get it.
I can see 2 running backs going in the first. It's just like Bijan goes early, and then one of the teams at the back end of the first round who need a running back, the Buffalo Bills, they take him.
I mean, the Bengals theoretically could do.
The Bengals. Oh man, who did I saw somebody compare Joe Mixon.
Oh no.
Who was it? Oh my God. I can't remember right now. It was like he's never shows up at the right. Maybe it was Kirk Cousins. I don't know, but he was like, Joe Mixon is the ex-athlete of whatever. I mean, I can't remember. Shouldn't even mentioned it. The worst thing you can do is try and reference something and then you forget the reference. That's me.
It was really good though. It was a good try.
Hey guys, I wasted everybody's time.
Sometimes you just start talking and you don't know where it's going to be, so you just keep going and hoping that you're going to find it. It's all good. It's all good. Listen, here we go, real quick. Do you think the Broncos are trading up? Do you think they're going to get into the second round?
I think there is a real chance the Broncos trade up. Maybe even into the top of the first. Because they could package both of their third rounders and something from next year's. Like they have a normal amount of draft picks in 2024.
Yeah.
So that's how they could do it. Trading up into the second, likely. Trading up into the first, unlikely, but not out of the question. I don't know, but it's just such a mystery. It's like Sean Payton we don't know. We don't know. What I guess the way I think about it is we don't know how Sean Payton views the current iteration of the Broncos, right? We know the team wasn't aggressive in free agency. So that's one signal to me that they believe they can win now. Otherwise, like, what's the point?
Yeah. He's a stud.
But if Sean Payton is looking to immediately course correct the Broncos, he has to believe he can do it with Russell Wilson. And that would be like a reason they're aggressive and move up to the top of the second is to get a day one starter for their team, contributor. And Sean Payton basically said it's really, really hard to do that outside of the first 2 rounds. So if he telegraphed a move for them to do it, like maybe that's it, but I don't know. I don't know what this team's going to do.
I mentioned this too. It seems like more than recent years, this is the year to have a bunch of second round picks because it's those guys that they're like athletic monsters, especially at edge, tight end. You can get some good like wide receiver value there. this is even corner, like it's decent, but this is the time like to have that's why I'm hoping for the Jets. Like just give us like 2 second-round picks, like and a conditional, and we'll be on our way. Like let's just end this. That was another thing too. We talked about Ryan Tannehill, but Derrick Henry potentially going to the Eagles. Could it happen? Sure. I just don't even know what value you give up. Is that a second rounder? Is it a third rounder?
Yeah, probably not because like you're talking about Derrick Henry's future, not who he has been as a running back.
Yeah.
Not to say he won't be very good this year, because I would not bet against Derrick Henry, but he's played a lot of years, a lot of carries. How dominant can he really be?
But this also makes a ton of sense for the Titans, because the Titans are one of the weirdest limbo teams that there are, because they're unfortunately stuck. I mean, listen, they lost how many games to end the season, but they're in this weird limbo of they have a good defensive line, their quarterback up in the air and getting older and costing a lot of money. Same exact thing with their running back, and their wide receiver one, like Traylon Burks is who they drafted. Like they're just in a weird mid stage, and that's look, as you know, that's the worst place that you can be in, because it's either you're really good and you're competing for a Super Bowl, or you're one of the worst teams in the league, so you could draft really high and start that rebuild.
If Tannehill leaves, and they move Henry, easily could be the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
I don't think
they are.
Sean Payton is actively trying to trade Jeudy. I think they listened to offers, but they only were going to take a first for Jerry Jeudy. Sutton, Hamler, if you can get the right value, maybe they move on. Hamler's been injury prone, so if they netted a draft pick for Hamler, like that wouldn't surprise me. But I don't think they're like right now, hey, give us something for Sutton. They're like, if you guys want something, this is all we'll accept. And they're going to wait for the draft, and maybe a team accumulates some draft picks by moving back and makes like a surprise play for one of those guys. But I don't think they're actively trying to do it. So, and I'm pretty sure they doubled down on saying Jerry Jeudy's not going anywhere.
Yeah. He just said it last week that he's not going anywhere.
So we'll see.
Real quick before we get out of here, because I did put that in the rundown. If you had to pick one team, what team do you think benefits the most from a trade? And that could just be trading up, trading down. Could be the Texans, the Cardinals, could be the Titans. You know what I mean?
Oof. Man, which team would benefit the most?
Like if you had to go, like either the Texans trading out of 2, or the Cardinals trading out of 3, or a team that's trading up with them.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Cardinals should just draft at 3. I think there's a good chance they're going to get the best defensive player available, which they could use. So I don't think it's the Cardinals.
Okay.
It really depends. I would say, it's going to pain me to say it, okay? Let's say quarterbacks go hot at the top of the draft there.
Sure.
Boom. I think the Raiders could benefit from trading back.
That's fair.
Getting some more picks moving forward, because I think they're a team. If they can't draft a quarterback, they got Jimmy G. They can be decent with Jimmy G, but they have a lot of holes, and they could take a great player at 7, or they could get multiple players at different positions of need. If we're talking like top 10 picks there, that would be my answer.
Yeah.
Yours?
I think if there's one team that's going to benefit the most, it's probably the Texans. The Texans trading out of that 2 spot. Because listen, they already have because they have 12. They have a bunch, but if they can get draft capital for next year, and like if it's not a great team, I think it just benefits them. The only other one is the Cardinals, because the Cardinals, it's just they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league. They are going to be competing for that last spot. And it looks like they're already selling the farm anyway. They have a bunch of holes as well. The Cardinals just need draft capital just to have options of what to do. right? Like they can recoup some stuff this year, like in the second round, and maybe like get a bunch of picks. But they need stuff for next year too, because there is going to be a decision with the new regime, with Kyler Murray getting paid all that guaranteed money. Is Kyler going to be your guy? They could do this PR tour and be like, oh, we love you. And they can go see the 3-foot statue. That's all nice. But at the end of the day, if Kyler Murray is not good when he comes back, I would not be shocked at all. If they're like the worst team, they go and get a Caleb Williams. So
yeah, no, that makes sense. But like if the Raiders don't want a quarterback and there's one there and the Titans are trying to move up and the Raiders can drop like to 11 with Tennessee, that'd make sense as well. But I don't know. Yeah. I'd like to see the Broncos get up higher. They would really benefit, but
they're another team. Washington, like they need. I think
they just gotta roll with Sam Howell, see what happens.
They have Jacoby Brissett too.
Yeah.
So why not? All right, Perna. What do you got, buddy?
XFL regular season finale conclusion. Best and worst.
Okay.
I don't care if nobody's watching. I'm gonna recap it.
Do it. No, it's like me with draft videos. Nobody's watching them except group. Thank you, group. Group poop. Don't know if I want to be in that group, but
who wants to have a nice old group poop?
Yeah, it's a little group poop. Yeah, today, right after this ends, I have a Packers 3-round mock draft that's coming out. Every NFL fan's waiting for the draft is going to come out today as well. And yeah, it's going to be an insane week. So there's lots of things. Like lots of things. I mean, it depends on how bad he is. But because again, just got to see if he's the guy. And it might take 2 seasons to do it. It might. But folks, we appreciate you. We'll be back on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Up top, Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated.
And you've reached your good morning, Vietnam.